Marcus Aurelius is one of the most famous and well-known Stoic philosophers of all time. He was a Roman emperor from 161 DC to 180 DC, and he was the last ruler from a line later known as the Five Good Emperors. He was in one of the highest positions of power in the world at the time and would have access to the realization of all his temptations and desires should he wish for them. But instead, he dedicated his life to fairness and justice. During his rule, Aurelius found the time to construct a series of autobiographical writings, now known as the Meditations, which has become one of the most important texts within Stoic philosophy. In the Meditations, Aurelius describes guides on how to improve oneself. These were mostly focused on taking a cosmic perspective and critically analyzing your judgment on yourself and others. As a leader of a powerful empire that experienced multiple wars during his rule, Aurelius used his own Stoic philosophy to let go of stress and worries and to be the very best and reliable leader he could be. Stoicism is an ancient and incredibly famous philosophy that, aside from theory, is also a truly inspiring way of thinking and living. The Stoics strongly believed that doing the right thing was the key to individual happiness, and that in order to do the right thing, sound judgment and clear rational thinking were necessary. So, with that in mind, in this video, we will talk about how you can develop a rational mind through 5 important lessons that can help you think more clearly from the teachings of Marcus Aurelius. Before we continue, check your channel subscription. It is very important that you are subscribed. Click to be a member to support us and encourage us to make more videos. Lesson 1. Train your perception. Marcus Aurelius says, "Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been." One of the greatest lessons of Stoicism is to take control of your perception. We're used to judging everything we come across. Any event we experience, any people we meet, we see. All of them get a value judgment. Something is either bad, good, boring, fun, beautiful, ugly, etc. This is, unbeknownst to us, a very exhausting practice, and also one that might affect our lives for the worse. For example, judging every interaction you have on a particularly hard day as awful gives the day itself an even more negative view. If you label a party you went to as boring, that is all it will be. That one boring part of your week. We often let our initial judgments of things be influenced by our emotions, which means that they are most likely not entirely rational. Furthermore, our tendency to judge every moment of our lives goes hand in hand with a tendency to talk in metaphors and hyperboles that make things seem worse. If you get dumped by your partner, you might say your ex broke your heart instead of the fundamental fact that they no longer feel for you the way they used to. This way of speaking, or rather this way of thinking, shapes how you feel. It is not the actual event that makes you feel bad, but rather the way you unconsciously choose to think about it. The Stoics, in contrast, encourage people to be careful to judge everything they come across and the things that they do. One of the ways to be careful is to undo your judgments, which essentially means to look past them, to be able to forget your first instinct and to judge something through a more optimistic and reasonable lens. You can try to reframe that boring party in your mind as an event where you got to see a new place and meet some new people. Okay, afterwards you might note that you didn't really resonate with anyone, but you didn't go in with the expectation of negativity. As such, practicing not to judge everything based on your first instinct and emotion is the very best way to start training your perception on life. Whenever you think about anything in an opinionated way, try to ask yourself, is this rational? What have I based my opinion on? Is there a better or more positive way to interpret this? Marcus Aurelius stressed that harms can only be if you consider them as harms. This means that any hard experience you went through seems harder and worse, the harder and worse you consider it to be. As such, you have complete control over how much certain situations affect you. The Stoics also encourage you to see every bad thing that happens as an opportunity or source for good. As an exercise of training your perspective in a Stoic way, there is a challenge called turning the obstacle upside down. When a new co-worker is a slow learner and their mistakes affect the company's profits, you might feel frustration. This co-worker is an obstacle to what you are trying to achieve: effectiveness, efficiency, and profit. However, this situation can also be an opportunity for good. It is an opportunity for you to exercise and practice patience, to become a better teacher, to learn how to integrate new people into the company, and how to handle stressful times. All of these are skills that will also be useful later and should also help you increase profits in the long run. On this subject, Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." So, all in all, instead of judging everything you come across in an exaggerated sense, take the time to look at things as they objectively are, and you might find that life is simpler and clearer than you thought. Every situation has a more positive interpretation and a more negative one. When you adjust your mindset accordingly, you will find that nothing bothers you as much as it used to, and you will get through life much more easily. Lesson 2. Embrace virtues. Quoting Marcus Aurelius, "Delve into the depths within yourself for a well of goodness, ready to bubble up if you persist on the quest." Virtues can be seen as an excellence of character or simply righteous moral behavior. Such behavior not only benefits you and those around you, but contributes to a greater good. The philosophy of tolerance embraces the idea of an interconnected universe where everything and everyone shares a common bond. Therefore, what serves the greater good ultimately benefits you. Hence, proponents of tolerance firmly believe that those most in harmony with reason are those who dedicate themselves to the greater good. In other words, they practice virtues. Conversely, the absence of virtues behavior is attributed to a lack of understanding among advocates of tolerance. When life throws you into unforeseen circumstances, virtues can be guiding stars, directing you correctly and keeping you steadfast. This is why the most virtuous individuals often emit a sense of tranquility and serenity. To embody the virtues, one must embrace the 4 cardinal virtues of tolerance: wisdom, justice, moderation, and courage. In the view of tolerance, wisdom is the ability to distinguish between good, bad, neutral, and everything in between. It involves transcending the sway of emotions, allowing reason to control what is morally just. When faced with a difficult situation, wisdom empowers you to analyze both options clearly. Next is justice. Wisdom is the foundation of justice, committing to what is right and fair for both oneself and others. Advocates of tolerance see it as a duty to oneself, fellow beings, and society at large. Courage, the third virtue, enables action even in personal fear. It propels you to act for the greater good or take on a responsibility despite uncertainty about the outcome. Courage doesn't mean eliminating fear, desire, or anxiety, but a conscious decision to proceed, overcoming emotional barriers. Finally, moderation, also known as temperance, manifests as maintaining a balanced path between extremes. It involves self-control, restraint, and discipline. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this self-regulating aspect of human nature, setting us apart from animals. Moderation prioritizes long-term well-being over short-term satisfaction. Consider a common example: a bag of potato chips. Indulging in the entire bag may bring temporary joy, but is detrimental to health and even mood. Here, practicing moderation means stopping after a few chips. Wisdom plays a crucial role in evaluating the appropriate amount to consume before stopping. Tolerance categorizes everything and actions into good, bad, and indifference. The guiding principles are to seek the good, avoid the bad, and accept indifference according to personal preferences. Deviating from these virtues is seen as nurturing the bad, theft, disrespect, recklessness, or failure to do good. Indifferent actions, such as leisurely walks or doing nothing, are encouraged. These principles offer more than personal improvement. They nurture a state of inner peace. Aligning your actions with these virtues ensures you remain on the path of integrity, guided by reason, and thus cultivate a peaceful mind. Lesson 3. Learn to control your emotions. Marcus Aurelius advises us to stop letting emotions overpower our reason. He encourages us to refrain from hypocrisy, selfishness, and anger. Actions based on emotions are often described as entirely contrary to actions based on reason and not without reason. Nothing clouds our judgment more than our own emotions. Therefore, if you want to think clearly at all times, one of the most important skills to learn is how to control your emotions. According to Marcus Aurelius, anger in particular harms us more than it benefits us. Contrary to what many may think, controlling your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. When you feel intense anger due to betrayal, you cannot control this anger by denying its existence within yourself or others, or pretending that you're fine. It will still be there, no matter how deeply you bury it. Instead, controlling emotions like anger, following the Stoic philosophy, is done by redirecting the emotion. So, when you experience anger next time, ask yourself what you can do with that anger. Yelling at the person who hurt you may seem tempting, but will it reduce your pain or improve your situation? Will it make the person who betrayed you a better person? In short, think about what you are tempted to do, and then ask yourself if it is useful. If not, find a way to express your emotions in a constructive way. Perhaps you will achieve better results by calmly talking to the person who hurt you, explaining your feelings, and trying to see things from their perspective. You can also write a journal, engage in physical activity, immerse yourself in a video game, or anything else that can help you release the anger. Take another example, such as worry or fear. You can't simply push it away, but you can redirect it. Instead of letting anxiety paralyze you, you can use it as a motivation to challenge yourself and recognize its presence through exits. For instance, if you're too afraid to ask your boss for a raise, many people see this type of fear as a reason not to do something and allow themselves to be hindered by it. Others may do it and view their fear as an obstacle that needs to be overcome and pushed aside. However, it doesn't have to be that way. Instead, your fear is something that can be expressed healthily and can even become useful in the end. For example, this fear makes you think about everything that could go wrong, which may lead you to consider all the questions your boss might ask, all the counter-arguments you might receive, and all the scenarios that might occur. So, you can prepare for them and plan for each possible outcome. In that scenario, you might be aware of your anxiety throughout the process and think, "It's great that I'm trying to do this." When you manage to redirect strong emotions easily, you will be a calm person in any situation, and your emotions will never diminish your ability to think rationally and make smart decisions. Controlling your emotions is the key to a calmer mind. Lesson 4. Practice the discrimination of control. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Discrimination of control is the distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. For example, the weather, traffic issues, or what others think of you are beyond your control. But how you dress, when you leave, and the type of people you interact with, you can control. So, whenever you face a situation that makes you feel a certain way, ask yourself, what can I control? Anything you can control is a reason to take action. Anything you cannot control, you should learn to accept and embrace without letting it affect you. Learning to discern between these two can make your mind immediately clear. A crucial part of controlling discrimination is amor fati, or translated as love of fate. When you embrace life and all the circumstances it brings, you will always love life. You cannot escape fate or decide the circumstances beyond your control, but you can choose to love your life no matter what happens. If you find yourself rejected for a job you've desired for years, you may think there is no redemption in such a situation. You wanted the job, tried and failed. You may not be able to pretend to love fate in a situation like this. However, this is a misunderstanding. Instead of seeing your inability to achieve your ambition as entirely negative, investigate what led to the negative outcome and use it to take a positive step. Or you didn't get the job due to mistakes on your part. In this case, it is within your control. You can work on those mistakes and try again when a similar opportunity arises in the future. Or the reason is an external factor, like bias or personality conflict with a member of the hiring team. This has never been within your control, meaning the opportunity never truly existed, and there is no reason for you to be upset about something that never existed. Part of accepting fate is separating yourself from a fixed outcome and external signs of success. If you want to become a writer and measure your success by the number of books you sell, then you will let your success be controlled by the volatile book market of that time. But if you choose to measure your success by your satisfaction with the finished product or by the amount of effort you put into it, then you are in control of your success. So, do everything in your power to strive for your goals, but never forget that you may not achieve them and accept this possibility beforehand. If we only obsess over what is within our control and pledge to accept everything else as it comes, then that person will find serenity no matter what happens. Lesson 5. Embrace a broader perspective. In the concluding quote from Marcus Aurelius, he eloquently reflects Plato's philosophy. Whenever you want to talk about all people, it's best to look from above and observe everything at once. Applying a broader perspective is a crucial aspect of achieving spiritual clarity. In the whirlwind of life, we often find ourselves caught in the midst of each issue, each challenge, feeling as if each carries the weight of the world. Imagine you're a part of a small crowd in what may seem like a city engulfed in congestion. However, just changing your perspective by a few steps, you can see an entirely different reality. Essentially, when we detach ourselves and contemplate the grand tapestry of the world and our existence, we realize that our personal experience is tiny and we are truly insignificant in the grand scheme of things. This shift in perspective opens up a much broader field than direct encounters. Often, people fail to realize the truth that their encounters and perspectives are not the only ones worth considering, even in their own lives. Consider someone who has had an unfavorable experience with dogs. They may find it difficult to understand that a dog can be a beloved companion to someone else unless they deliberately acknowledge the diversity of experiences. Sometimes it's necessary to step back and ask yourself, what am I missing or not understanding? Practicing this self-examination brings many benefits. For example, imagine you have to choose between staying in your current job or pursuing a new position elsewhere. Such a decision can be daunting, especially if you're not sure that any choice will make you happy. While your current job provides stability, and you may fear the additional responsibilities that come with a promotion, the allure of a higher salary is calling you. You may feel stuck in this dilemma, but a treasure trove of opportunities lies beneath the surface. Have you considered stepping into an entirely different field or exploring a side project that complements your current job? Perhaps immersing yourself in a passion to shift your focus away from tasks you find unappealing. There may be many unexplored paths in life lurking outside your awareness. Applying a panoramic perspective, rather than just focusing on immediate concerns, can aid in making wise decisions. Expanding your vision is valuable not only in setting priorities, but also in shaping your opinions to provide a comprehensive judgment. It's essential to consider all aspects and possibilities in a specific situation. Moreover, stepping back means distancing yourself from biases and personal viewpoints. Temporarily relinquishing your desires can provide a fresh perspective, prompting you to reflect on those around you and your responsibilities toward them. In the heat of the moment, an action like littering may seem inconsequential. However, when you pause and broaden your perspective to encompass the entire world and the potential consequences if everyone behaved the same way, the triviality of your desire becomes starkly contrasting with the planet's well-being. Lesson 6. Cultivating a growth mindset for clear thinking. Mindset, this concept is not merely a word, but a doorway to the world of continuous progress. To achieve this, we must have boundless trust in our own capacity to develop, learn, and adapt. A growth mindset, in stark contrast to a fixed mindset, is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be nurtured and developed through determination and diligent work. The Stoics, masters of philosophy, believed in the power of continuous learning and self-improvement. Seneca, one of the great philosophers, once said, "As long as you are alive, keep learning how to live." This timeless advice reminds us that life is an ongoing journey of growth and exploration. In the modern world, it's easy to feel stuck or constrained by our circumstances. However, with a growth mindset, every challenge becomes an opportunity for personal growth. Every mistake is a valuable lesson, and every obstacle is a chance to persevere. By nurturing this mindset, we can face life with curiosity and resilience. A growth mindset empowers us to continually seek new experiences, learn from our mistakes, and relentlessly pursue a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. To truly live, not just exist, we must ignite the flame of a passion for learning within each soul, and let that flame illuminate the path ahead, helping us not only to overcome, but to thrive on the challenging journey of life. Lesson 7. Embrace the power of silence. It's easy to get lost in today's world with constant notifications, endless scrolling, and never-ending information. The first step to clear thinking is to seek silence. This doesn't mean you have to meditate for hours or escape to a remote cabin. It simply involves taking a moment to pause, breathe, and refocus. In this silence, you can begin to hear your own thoughts and distinguish them from the noise. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This serves as a reminder that amidst the chaos of the modern world, we have the power to find peace within ourselves. By regularly seeking silence, we can nurture a clearer mind and a more focused perspective. For many of us, our days are filled with tasks, responsibilities, and distractions. But by dedicating a few minutes each day to sit quietly, reflect, or simply exist, we can start to see everything more clearly. This practice is not about escaping reality, it's about grounding ourselves in it. Silence is not inaction, it's a deliberate choice to pause and contemplate. It's a powerful tool that can help us make better decisions, understand our emotions, and navigate the complexities of modern life. In a world filled with constant information and distractions, the ability to think clearly has become a precious skill. 7 Lessons on How to Think Clearly provides you with practical insights and strategies to enhance your thinking abilities. As we explore these lessons, let's delve into 3 distinct important aspects to guide you on your journey towards clarity of thought. First, challenge your assumptions. We all carry a set of beliefs and assumptions about the world. These beliefs shape our thoughts, actions, and interactions. However, to think clearly, we must be willing to challenge these assumptions. Just because a belief has been with us for a long time doesn't mean it's accurate or useful. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, noted, "We are often more frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." How often do our assumptions, born out of fear or past experiences, cloud our judgment or distort our perspectives? To think clearly, we must be willing to challenge our own beliefs. This means being open to new information, seeking diverse viewpoints, and being willing to change our perspectives. It's not about doubting everything, but rather about curiosity and openness. It's easy to go along with what we've always believed or what everyone else believes. But true clarity comes from being willing to see the world as it truly is, not as we assume it to be. By regularly challenging our assumptions, we can free ourselves from limiting beliefs and see the world with fresh eyes. Second, practice active listening. The art of listening is often overshadowed by the desire to speak, but for clear thinking, we must become adept at active listening. This means fully focusing, understanding, and responding to what others are saying rather than preparing the next statement or letting our minds wander. Marcus Aurelius once observed, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This Stoic's deep insight emphasizes the importance of truly listening to others, recognizing that their viewpoints open a window to a different understanding of the world. Active listening is not just about hearing words, it's about understanding the emotions, motivations, and intentions behind those words. By giving full attention to the speaker, we not only show respect, but also open our minds to profound insights and new ideas. This challenges us to set aside prejudices and judgments, allowing for a deeper understanding of the topic at hand. Furthermore, active listening strengthens relationships, builds trust, and promotes open dialogue. By truly listening to others, we position ourselves to think more clearly, make better decisions, and deepen our connections with those around us. It's a skill that requires patience and practice, but brings immeasurable rewards in terms of clarity and insight. Navigating the complexities of the modern world demands a clear mind and a resilient spirit. These Stoic lessons offer timeless wisdom, relevant to the challenges and distractions of today. By incorporating these practices into our daily lives, we not only enhance our ability to think clearly, but also strengthen our resilience in the face of inevitable difficulties in life. Third, seek simplicity. With so many choices, decisions, and information available, simplicity can help us navigate a complex world. To think clearly, we need to learn to simplify our thoughts, living environment, and decisions. If you have come this far, you are truly different. You are seeking knowledge. Remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Simplicity is not about self-denial or minimalism. It's about eliminating the unnecessary, focusing on what truly matters, and finding clarity amid the noise. In the modern age, we are often pulled in countless directions, but by seeking simplicity, we can find focus and clarity. Whether it's decluttering our living space, simplifying commitments, or focusing on the most important goals, simplicity can be a powerful tool for clear thinking. By regularly evaluating what truly matters and letting go of the rest, we can navigate life with ease and greater clarity. As mentioned earlier, Stoics firmly believe in the interconnectedness of everything in the world, believing that the general improvement of the world fundamentally contributes to individual well-being. Therefore, taking a step back to embrace a global perspective instead of solely focusing on your own life holds great importance. When faced with a difficult decision, challenge, or significant change in life, you have the ability to ask introspective questions, whether in the heat of the moment or later, perhaps during a walk outdoors or while journaling. Ask yourself some questions. Can this be done immediately or later, perhaps when you reflect on your day, whether during a walk or when journaling about them? This is something that Aurelius favored. The most common questions you should ask yourself are, what could be the long-term consequences of my decision or action? How might others perceive this issue differently from me? Do I know someone in a similar situation or with similar goals who could provide assistance? Does my choice or action impact my own well-being? Does it affect the health of those around me? Are there any choices that I haven't considered yet? Take the time to consider all aspects of the decision to help you gain a better understanding of your actions. Think about life and your choices. It will help you make a positive impact on the world. When you consider the whole picture, you will always have a broad perspective that frees you from unnecessary constraints, prejudices, or doubts. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our playlist for more videos that help you find success and happiness using ancient philosophy. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you can, become a channel member. Thank you so much for watching.